A train wreck to spin fire. The NFT analyzer, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From mint coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community.
Good morning, guys. Mega GMs. Welcome to the Swarm Report. Today's gonna be fun. We got our buddy Adam back on the show in the co-host seat.
Yo,
Dude,
yo. Good to see you, man. How are you doing?
Great. I'm great, man. Dude, I almost lost it again, like on the back. I had I almost choked to death right before the show, and I almost lost it again right when I started us live here. I think I'm gonna make it, dude, but you'll save me if not, right?
I've got you, man. And I think if not, we've always got the Pharmachain AI here, right, to hit you with some meds. I think
Dude,
that
I
just
love
a
it.
couple of clicks.
I love it. No, this is gonna be awesome because we got this tug of war going on virtuals with these prototype launches, and everybody's wondering where's the Genesis launches and how are they going to compete and what are they going to do and who are they for? Like everybody's trying to figure out what's the best flavor of launch on virtuals for who. And so perfect timing for really I think it's our biggest launch of the week here on virtuals Genesis here. It's Pharmachain. So we got David from Pharmachain here to talk to us about his project and the product and what they're building and the whys. And I got lots of questions. So David, welcome, man.
Yeah. Jim, everyone. Thank you, Hudah. Hi, Adam.
Hey, bro. How are you doing?
Awesome. Doing great.
All right, let me get my screen shared here. I want to show you guys a couple of things before we get deep in here. Because again, this launch is coming up in are we at like an hour to the Genesis launch, or are we 2? It's coming up here.
Yeah, 53 minutes.
Dude, look at that. I think we need this. I'm looking
51. Oh my God. What? That's the clock's ahead. Oh, but is it set like a few minutes before the hour? Is that what's happening? Or am I just like...
No, I see what you see. I'm assuming it's just, it goes literally based on when somebody clicks, like launch or how I've never launched one. So I don't know how it looks on the back end, but it's probably not set to like a specific time. So this is coming up in 50 minutes, guys. Meaning, if you're itching to spend some points, and especially on a good team, good project, and we're about to learn about that here, you got your next opportunity coming up here. But I did want to point out, reason I'm rambling right now, these guys are going to be on a Spaces when this actually opens up, which I think is cool as hell, right? So I want to make sure to point you guys to their Spaces coming up at, it's 10 a.m. Eastern time. Excuse me, that's over on Adam's account. So I'll drop a link in the chat. You can kind of just say this is like the pre-show. This is like the pre-show, and then main show happens over there in just about an hour here. That's gonna be
so
awesome.
This is super cool because actually this is similar to what we did when we did the Genesis launch. So what happened is I think I went on to do a stream, right? I haven't actually done many of these live streams. I think it was like maybe the second ever time I'd done a live stream. And so I was, I have OBS, right? Like that's the extent of the streaming software. And I set it up and I was going, and there was an issue with the audio. And because of the issue with the audio, I don't exactly know what, but it somehow meant that I just thought, damn it, I'm just going to open a space right now. So, and it was like not planned, but it's like just what you do, right? Running the spaces at the same time as the stream. So I opened the space and I hadn't set it up. Like nobody knew about it, but all of these cool people that I'd been connecting with over the course of like the previous week joined in the space. And it was just like the craziest thing that happened. And then what happened, David, you've got this to look forward to, is that we hadn't bonded we weren't, we were way off bonding by like 24 hours later. So I scheduled the Genesis bonding party, right, as you do, and I did exactly the same thing. So like we put a stream on through a space together, and if you don't know the story, what happened is like, Big Will rocked up, did a few tweets, and we bonded, and we were oversubscribed at 183%, and it was like literally that. I think 150% of that happened in the last 30 minutes, right? So that was like some voodoo, like social media madness.
The ends get really spicy. You should probably go live again tomorrow, like right at the tail end of it. We'll definitely talk about it here too. But yeah, the tail end of the Genesis launches get really spicy.
Yes. So you've got that to look forward to, David. How are you feeling, bro?
Yeah. So, I'm thinking about it and a little bit nervous. It's my first time on the launching on the virtual, so a couple of things running through my mind, but hearing it from you guys, I think it's kind of helpful.
Dig it, dude.
Yeah,
Well, let's get into it. Tell us about Pharmachain, and then I'm gonna drill you is not the right word, but I got questions. I want to learn about this because it's interesting. We've not seen something like this on virtuals yet. Maybe even outside of that. So yeah, hit us. What are you cooking?
All right. Okay. All right. So a little bit of introduction. I'm David. I'm a pharmacist. Right after I finished pharmacy school in 2016, I got into crypto. It was a bit funny where I got in because it was just in a WhatsApp group. Someone said, make $80,000 by December. And then I was like, oh, wow, with Bitcoin. I think then Bitcoin was about 700, 600, 500-ish. And then I jumped into it and then found out, okay, what is this about? And then I bought my first Bitcoin at around that time. Even at that time, I think a couple of us felt Bitcoin was quite expensive. So we started dabbling into ICOs and trying to look for the next coin that could give us the next 100x, so which we could get more Bitcoin. And then from there, I started working for projects, right? Because back then there were a couple of ICO launches, and so different projects looking for biz dev, community managers, country managers. So I managed to get my hands on a couple of roles for Hobby, FTX, Zilla, and a couple of other projects as well. And then when the DeFi boom started, I also did a couple of work for Perpetual Protocol, Verify, and a couple of other DeFi platforms. But then I still kept my my day job as a pharmacist, helping a couple of patients in the hospital where I was. And it was then we had an issue because we had these new persons, immigrants, and expatriates, even a couple of locals, right? They come around, and then they get their prescription, but then they don't know exactly where to pick it up. So they ask us, this person, oh, where do I get this medication? And then it's okay, check here. And then sometimes it's kind of difficult because even when they go there, the pharmacist says wait 2-3 days before you get the medication. And sometimes you meet a queue, and then sometimes the patient goes there, and then at the end of the day, they still come back and say, okay, help me source for this medication, right? So we started thinking of ways to help, and then we started sending mails and then calling these pharmacies and asking them, do you have this medication? Do you have medication? And then felt, okay, let's record this, right? Let's have a spreadsheet up, and let's put this data up. And for this medication was good, this person found it in this pharmacy for this patient, and then that's how we kept doing it. I mean, we just did it just to help our patients, right? And then people call, make phone calls, make WhatsApp, right? They say, okay, people know you as a pharmacist, so they want to ask you where they could get medications, right? Especially for chronic and for uncommon illnesses. So so what we did then was it started becoming very serious, right? So because it was taking our time, the time to call, send mails, and all that, and people started trusting that we could find medications for them, right? So they prefer to wait for us to tell them go here, and then they go there, and then they find it, and then it made sense. So at a point in time, we told the pharmacies, okay, can you give us something, right? 1%, 3%, 5%, 10%, and a couple of pharmacies had said yes, right? Because we were sending them all of those traffics to their to their stores, and it got so fantastic that that we had to um, go to the we had to we were easily able to predict, right? Without looking at our spreadsheet, we already know where to find the medication, right? So if a person comes to us, we'll dispense these medications before to someone, right? So we could easily say, I've seen this here before. Okay, go there and then get it. So we began to understand the data that we had gathered over time, and began to, without looking at it, began to say, okay, go there, do this, do that, and that was very, very, very helpful. And so we just kept doing that and getting all of those percentages. We also got a couple of partners, in insurance partners, right, who also helped us, who also send their policy holders and release to us, and we were able to also help all of those persons. So it so while all of this whole thing with AI came up, and then we found out that wow, we've gathered so much data, and we are the ones now predicting it. What if we're able to train an AI, right, an AI agent, whatever, that's able to do this instead of us? So this agent has all of this data, and this agent can predict this, and that's where the idea of having Pharmachain AI started. So we now feed all of this data, and then the AI now predicts. So, but then the issue was real time, right? We need to know real time who has this medication. So so that's where we began to develop the platform further, and try to see how people could contribute to a pool of data in their community to say, okay, for so and so medication, this pharmacy. So in a community, you have people who can, people who need certain medications can, upload that medication, and then someone could respond that say, okay, at this so and so place, you can get so and so medication, right? So so that's how it has been for us, and we've been able to get two of these partnerships with these insurance companies, and then we're able to also pitch this idea to AWS, and then we got into their startup accelerator, and then it's been fantastic from there. So it's in fact, it was during COVID, right? It was very bad, right? Because there was lockdown, supply chain disruptions here and there, and so people were, a lot of people were bothered about vaccines, right? But many persons died not because of vaccines, but because they couldn't find their day-to-day medications, right? Because of all of those disruptions. So but there we were able to help a couple of persons who knew us at that time, because everything was pure manual, right? We were able to help a couple of persons, and then help them to get the medication. So I've also been in the virtual ecosystem. I've also been just generally doing some lot of crypto stuff, and then I felt okay, we could actually do this. We have everything on board. We have everything, the data, we have the revenue, we have the attention. We need to scale this, and then we felt okay, let's do this.
Dude, I love a lot of this. And like, to Mufasa's point here, it is unique. It's really interesting, developed from industry experience. Again, also like that. Like, sometimes, well, not sometimes, I think all the time, like products like this are not always like splashy and flashy and whatever, but it's because most of these projects are, their product is hype. I think that's fine, right? But it's not often we see something that is a real deal product. So right off the bat, I just think it's different, cool. A couple quick questions, and we were already getting awesome questions from the chat here. But Carbon, yeah, it's a cool origin story. Like when you see a problem in the real world and then you can build out a real solution, there's demand for it because again, you're living it. It instantly is different. Dude, but real quick, how long ago was this where you were sitting and, like manually taking down, inventory and keeping the inventory out there?
Yeah, that was from late 2019 and 2020. Yeah, late 2019, 2020. So in fact, it was kind of perfect because that was at the heat of COVID, right? So, but we felt that the whole thing will kind of die down during COVID, or sorry, after COVID, but it continued, right? Even in fact, even till now, we've not the pharmaceutical world has not fully recovered from the impact of COVID to the supply chain, right? In the US, for instance, every month there are shortages of medications, and those shortages is not because those medications are not there, right? They are actually poorly distributed. So you could have, in fact, in the course of speaking with some pharmacy owners, we found out that some medications could be stocked in a particular location somewhere, right? And they're about to expire, but someone here needs that medication and doesn't know how to get it, right? Because you don't know where to get it. Most of these pharmacies, they are not very public with their inventory, right? So
Dude, why are they
people were
not?
actually suffering from that. Yeah, because their pricing, right? Nobody want to display their pricing, and then some of them are not licensed, right, to run an online pharmacy platform. So you can just put up your stock out there in the open.
Dude, so there's like maybe some dirtier reasons why it's not. That's kind of why I was asking the when question, because I'm like, I assumed it was kind of recent, and it still blows my mind that it's still an issue that inventory is not tracked, and that there's like through your description and then me researching, billions of dollars wasted every single year, right, because of just medication expiring. It blows my mind. Again, I'm not surprised because of how wasteful we are everywhere at every level. But it's crazy to me that nobody would have fixed this yet, but it takes somebody coming along who wants to fix it, who like lives that problem. So again, I see it and I get it. It's super interesting.
David, could you tell us a little bit about how it works technically? Like what exactly what's going on under the hood? So and firstly, with the blockchain component, and then I'd love to hear more about the AI and what models you're using and all of that. So super interested to dive into that a little bit.
All right. Yeah. So okay. So for how it works is this. So you could call it an Uber for medicines, right? So you have this just coming on the platform. There are two ways you could sign up as a pharmacy owner, right? And also as a normal user. So as a normal user, you turn on your location, you select from a list of medications that you want. If you have a prescription that you don't know how to interpret, you could also contact us. We have a pool of pharmacists who could help to interpret that prescription. And when you have the medications, you can then go ahead, make a search. So with your location on, right, the AI is able to predict they have this percentage likelihood of getting this medication. So we have this from 1 to 200, right? The AI can tell you, okay, this person has there's a 90% chance you find this medication in this pharmacy, and then it gives you the distance from that pharmacy to where you are. So it starts with the and then rates that as a percentage. So we would recommend people always go with pharmacies that have a 50 and above % chance, right, So, but it doesn't stop there, because we also training the AI is an ongoing process, right? So people can still go ahead to confirm with the pharmacy. So you could decide, if you see maybe the probability is 98% chance, you could decide to just get the location and then go there, pick it up. If you see it's a low percentage, you could confirm, and then it opens up a chat between you and the pharmacy to confirm it live before you decide to move. So when you confirm that, if the AI was correct, the AI picks it and trains. If the AI was wrong, it also updates that data. It was right. So so that's the flow. So where the blockchain component come in is it's major, because our token is going to be very, very, very much utilized on the platform, right? So when you do that, you help to train the AI and you get rewarded for it, right? And then also, it's also very possible, right? Someone can search for medications, because sometimes we had people who travel from Germany and they come from a different country, and then they say, okay, I got this medication from this place where I felt ill, can I get it here? And then sometimes it's difficult to get those kind of medications. So in those instances, people can see medications that people within a locality are looking for, right? And if you, maybe if a pharmacist or a pharmacy owner or anyone at all feels that, oh, maybe my grandma had taken this medication before and she saw it here, and then you can prove it, right? And if you can prove it, you we review it, and then we send that to the AI. The AI learns that, and then you also get rewarded for it. Yeah. So still on the crypto blockchain component, it also works such that these pharmacies in the future, right, we would as we begin to gain more traction and push branding, they would also be required to, you know, to hold certain amount of tokens, right, for them to list, right, and for them to kind of build some kind of reputation and their rapport within their community. And then for you to also make those searches, right, you need to hold some amount of those tokens, Pharmachain tokens, in your wallet, right? So if you have those tokens, you will be able to make searches, and it will be deducted from your balance. And those deducted tokens are bonds, right? Any token that is used to make searches taken out of circulation. So that's where the blockchain component comes in.
It'd be cool to get the like inventory fully on chain, right? You might have said that in there somewhere. Maybe that's a long-term goal, but that's kind of the core problem, right? Is just not knowing the inventory and getting it to the places that don't have it. Is that something in your scope down the road?
Yeah, we actually try to get all of those inventory, but the issue with getting an inventory is that a pharmacy can give you that inventory, and then in five hours, someone has gotten that medication off the shelf. So it's not real time, right? It's not real time. So so there's a thin line where we're actually trying to figure out how to get, because real time is where the challenge. In fact, that's why nobody's doing it. It's difficult to get real time data that we are 100% sure if I go there I can get it. So it's not a walk in the park. It's something that we will be improving over time, that eventually we'll be able to get it right.
That's interesting. That helps unlock a little something in my head too, just about maybe right now it's not possible to do it real time. So the best you can do is predict as accurately as possible. And then that's where between humans and AI, it's going to help the prediction rate way higher, right?
Exactly. We could predict and give you the percentage chance, and then you could confirm with the pharmacy, right, before you decide to make a move.
Oh, I like that. Okay, let's fire off some of the questions from the chat here because they're really good. Crypto Blockdan's a pharmacist. I saw that earlier, so super cool. And so he gets it too. Dan, like, do you feel the same problem too, by the way? Like, do you Do you run into the same issue, and do you see the same need for a solution? And does this like check some boxes for you? But he's asking a couple things here. Who are you? Are you doxxed? And where are you registered? And what country? A lot of questions. What trials? And where are you going to deploy? I'll just leave this up, and you can just kind of go through that list and answer.
Okay, so we are in the UK, right? And then we are also in South Africa. And then we're also in a couple of African countries. But we are all of this is not we are at this point in time we have not formally decided to localize ourselves in a particular niche, right? But we're trying to make it decentralized as much as possible so that we could also be at different locations at the same time, right? And then for the trials, we are actually running trials with the AI. Currently, that's the aspect that's kind of delaying our launch because we want people to trust the data. And we want people to also know what is going on. So we are still trying the we are still in fact we are actually trying to see how to localize the launch instead of going global, because going global we will be able to depend on people in different locations to pull in that data, right? And as opposed to staying in a particular place and saying that, okay, let's focus on this community and then decide to spread from there. Yeah, so it's so that's where we are kind of torn in between. But as we continue to develop the AI in-house, we will decide what's the best course of action.
I dig it. And then Dan's question about, I think I saw it, but are you doxxed? Like, is your name out there? And I think for some
Yeah.
people,
You
just
could
in the world of
check on LinkedIn, right? There's a Pharmachain AI on LinkedIn. It's on our website. Our LinkedIn page is on our website, so you could check. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'll dig through that in a minute here. Dude, it's interesting. Okay, so to scale this, you really do need users using the platform. I think, if I'm understanding how it works, right? You need users who are contributing that data, using this thing, pharmacies to buy in.
Yeah. It's kind of a network effect, right? So the more people who use it, the more data you can gather. But initially, we would on our own, without depending on people so much, we would try to focus on different localities while we are doing all of that, right? So in those localities, we are speaking with pharmacies, and then while we also allow people from all over the world to also do what they are doing, till we formally come there to now say, okay, we want to now work with pharmacies individually.
Could you tell us a little bit about the AWS for Startups program and what kind of support you get from them, and how you leverage the AWS cloud, presumably?
Okay, yeah. So we got a couple of trainings, which my CTO went through. All of those trainings. So that's the first thing. So they trained us on a couple of tools and infrastructure that we could use. They also gave us a couple of cloud credits. 5,000, 1,000 that we are also using to try out a couple of things, right? So we also have this network for, we also give them a specialized AWS agent, right? Who's also there to help us to, when we are ready to scale.
Speaking of that agent, is that where like users are going to log their info? Are they doing it in an app with you, or are they doing it through like an agent?
Initially, they would have to do it through an app because, truth be told, the majority of our audience are not totally, of course, Web3 users and CT guys and crypto users could also use it, but we are looking at a situation where it will be open for every Dick and Harry, where we don't need so much technical knowledge or crypto knowledge. So so we'd have to go through the app route first.
That's kind of what's so interesting is I'm picturing that user base who's going to use this. And to me, the biggest reason up front to use it is the incentive, right? Getting token rewards for contributing. But are the people that you're trying to get onboarded to use this and make some money, they're probably not crypto natives, are they?
Yeah, so not everyone, right? Yeah, because crypto is still trying to gain adoption all over the world, right? So of course, there's people who are already aware of crypto. So those ones who are aware, of course, they would be our initial target, right? But then the platform is kind of is not it's a mix of web 2, web 3. So in the wallet now, for instance, you could also deposit your local currency, right? And we find a way to do that conversion for you into our native token. So you don't need to interact with the token as so much, but because the token it's what we want to use to drive and fully automate the platform. So we would gradually begin to move as advancement in crypto continue to go on. But we don't want to because the problem is what we are really wanting to solve. So we don't want to provide bottlenecks that people would have to go through before they eventually use the platform. So if you web 2 native, you don't want to deal with crypto, fine, you could come, right? Under the hood, we have a way to still make it work with our native token. If you're a crypto person, you want to still go out with token, fine, because we've seen where people, most crypto projects, they're trying to force people, you have to use the token, you have to get the token, and then it's difficult, right? Most persons will not know how to use virtuals or Uniswap and all that, and then transferring the token from an exchange to your platform. I mean, it's a whole hassle. So we will be growing with the adoption, with the rate with which crypto is being adopted globally.
So when this launches, like TGE will be tomorrow and people get in and get their tokens dropped to them, but there's not going to be utility for it quite yet, right? Like you're still going to have to go and get this piloted in local locations. I think I understand that, right?
Yeah. So we have actually gone further. I've showed a couple of persons the demo. I forgot to send it to Adam, right? So, but I could send it after this show. We have the blockchain component and all of the Web2 components are set, right? It's the AI component is what we need to really fine tune properly. So that's where we are right now.
So where does the app live? Is that some mobile app, or it's like an iOS app or an Android app, or just on a website?
Yeah, it's just on the website. We are not we are starting with a website with like a PWA version before we go fully up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, awesome question from Gokumoria. Dude, you always have great questions, by the way. Keep them coming. Okay, so onboarding right now, pharmacies, hospitals too, I would assume. Like this would be super helpful for them as well. Like again, this is just an interesting infrastructure play too, but also like somebody who needs to get their meds makes sense. Plans to though expand to warehouses, distributors too. I would assume that it just makes sense. You'd want to go in that direction.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to go in that direction because that's a that's a different component entirely, because you are now strictly doing B2B, right? So you are supplying these pharmacies, but then it's something we can always explore in the future. But right now we are not looking in that direction because we we have been, because it's the aspect we are very familiar with, right? So that's where we are pushing from. But eventually, of course, when we are solid, we'll look at other aspects and other opportunities within the pharma industry, because it's actually big. The issues are numerous, right? In fact, the issues actually start from warehousing, right? The distribution is actually poor there. That's why you could see medications concentrated in certain places, expiring, and someone who needs them in location B cannot access them, right? So it is actually from the warehousing, right? So if we are going to work on that from the roots, it's going to take a lot of resources and efforts for us to do that. So, but we are actually starting with this.
I love it, dude. What are your plans to help grow? I mean, token, but like community, like you've seen it. Community is like the lifeblood of this thing. Like you have to have the community. So after TGE, what does that look like? Growing the mindshare, growing the community, growing that base of users who are then going to contribute to that ecosystem.
Okay, yeah. So after TGE, we would immediately begin with. We would actually go with the push for the global adoption, where we would depend on users to provide the data, right? So that would be open first, so people will be able to submit all of those data from all over the world in different locations and tell us where they see certain medications, and then we would begin to also work with that, and then of course they get rewarded for that. And then right now, actually, we actually still doing all of the whole manual process, right? And that's still ongoing. So we're going to try to see how to bring in while we are still doing that manually. We're going to try to see how to bring in the token almost immediately, such that it would find utility in a month, right? We should be able to get a beta version, right? So people could start using immediately. But initially, the way we plan to engage the communities, to provide us with data of medications that's in different locations where they are, and then we begin to pull that such that it will be easy for us to launch that when we are set.
Yeah, so Hudah, it would be cool as well. We can bring up the leaderboard for Pharmachain, which is actually we're actually hosting that. So it's the first time we've done that. But this is a mindshare campaign that's going to be running for 30 days, right, until the first unlock, I believe. So there's an unlock coming up. So yeah, you can just I think you can access it via their X account, or you can go on, if you just click onto songjam.space, then there's a banner for it. Yeah, you can click on the live mindshare campaign just there. And yeah, so this is kind of heating up a bit, but there's actually an early multiplier. So everybody that is tweeting about this is going to figure more highly, right? But also we've actually just completed integrating the Lurky API. So actually in-space yapping is live on this now. So everyone that rolls into our space after this and gives some bullish sentiment to the Pharmachain is also going to figure on this leaderboard as well. So we've just hooked that up today, right? So it's just good. I don't think David even knows that yet.
Dude, that's spicy.
I
love Lurky. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. You got me off guard. You got me off guard. I didn't see that coming actually, but that's cool.
Yeah, you're the first. You're the first beneficiary of this. Even I think you've even beat Virtuals to the punch, right? I think the Virtuals campaign is kicking off. The official partnership with Lurky is kicking off. But yeah, I've been all over Lurky since they rolled out on Prototype. I've been all over them. And basically, if you want to get a space indexed, you just need to tag Lurky Reverb, right? Just like normal. So you can tag that, and then that hits the Lurky indexer, and it's pulled in to the leaderboard as well, right? So that's going to be, as I say, it's running for the next. Am I right, David? Do you want to correct me on the timing? But I think we're going for the next 30 days.
Yeah, you're right. 30 days. Yeah.
I see us on the leaderboard, which is awesome. Does that mean, does the Lurky integration, do they also earn like a Lurky token, or like right? Is there another token in the mix with that integration?
Well, that's not So yeah, to be clear, like this is just, we're just using the API, yeah, for this campaign specifically. So it's not connected to like the Lurky campaign. And I think the Lurky partnership, I mean, there's these kinds of official partnerships they're doing with virtuals, for example, where they're onboarding virtuals onto, they're hosting the campaign for virtuals, and then we're we're like, I guess, the earliest adopters of the API. And we just needed to figure it out, and like, honestly, it's super cool to actually get this hooked up finally. And it feels like an age for me, but I know it's actually, we're probably, I think we're almost front running the actual first official campaign on Lurky. So it's not that long, really, is it? But I beat myself up about losing even minutes in this game, So yeah, man. But I'm stoked that that this has come together actually just before the space, which was what we were kind of aiming for.
Dude, it's slick. Let me fire a couple more questions because I don't have you guys much longer. So actually a couple really important questions, and I'm glad Gokumori brought up one that I had here. Revenue model. So what's the revenue model look like? And I think that comes from like the user standpoint. And you might answer this earlier too, maybe. But like a pharmacy who wants to integrate Pharmachain, right? What does that look like on their end? What are they paying for that, I assume?
Yeah, good questions. Yeah, so it's free for the pharmacies, right? So pharmacies are able to sign up for free and onboard themselves. But then if we are able to, if we send someone to your pharmacy to pick up medications, or someone is able to pay from our application, we'll get 3 to 10%, depending on what we negotiate with that individual pharmacy. So that's where we generate revenue. So this revenue, part of it is used to buy back the Pharmachain token, and we plan to distribute that to people who are staking the token, right? So that's one way. I missed the other questions.
I think it was like a very general question, just about what the revenue looks like. By the way, I like it. Like, I just think everybody's going to crypto. I'm gonna mute real quick. Sorry. Feedback's kind of wild, but like everybody is going to be integrating crypto. I'm watching people who are doing it earlier and building it in their business, and how they build around it and make it work. So again, I think this whole thing is super interesting. So then the other part of Gokumoria's question was utility for the token. Right now we know it's a reward, right? So people will spend it to use the app, but also receive it for providing data. Is there other utility plan for people who are staking?
There is, because we know that we know how it works, right? Supply demand, right? We have to find a way to make the demand for the token outweigh the supply. So how we then do that is one is people will need to hold the token, right, for them to make searches. So if you initially, of course, you could do 1, 2, 3 searches for free, but then after you have all of those free trials, subsequently you need to hold certain amount of the token in your wallet, which will be deducted when you make certain searches. So those tokens that are deducted would then be burned and taken out of circulation, right? That's one. Then also on the demand part, eventually we would have pharmacies, because we are giving them business. They are making sales via us, right? And in fact, we have a couple of pharmacies who like the idea, because they want to get traffic from beyond their initial community. Like, they want people who are outside their community to know that they got this kind of medications, right? So eventually we would have pharmacies hold certain amount of tokens in their wallet, right, for them to eventually list on Pharmachain. So so while they are also making money, they would also hold those tokens to Then there's also the staking, where when you stake these tokens, you'll be able to get when we do the buybacks, we distribute them back to the Pharmachain stakers. So stakers will be able to benefit from that. Then like a couple of orders that we also put on our website on Twitter space, sorry, Twitter page, right, where tokens are adopted. It's also used to trigger the responses, and then the buybacks, and then so all of these things helps to add to the scarcity and the eventual supply shrink. And then it's the one of the major aspects that would really help to shrink supply is when pharmacies begin to hold this, because uh, for them holding 50k tokens, right, it's nothing to them, right? Especially if the price hasn't really soared yet. So if pharmacy holds 50k tokens for them to list on a Pharmachain, right? Imagine when you now have 50,000 pharmacies holding 50k tokens, right? That's much more than our supply, right? So our goal is to make sure we are getting in sales for these pharmacies, which will make them want to hold the tokens. And as many pharmacies begin to hold the tokens, that further shrinks supply, such that even when we are doing the whole data attribution thing, it doesn't really affect the price when those data, the people who are collecting data for us, eventually decides to take some profit or something.
Could you clarify for me I think you said something about 50K tokens. Is that the pharmacy needs to hold 50K to be listed in the app?
Yeah. No, not now, right? So we would increase it per time, right? So, but that would be like the max threshold, right? So it could be, we've not really fine-tuned how it's going to be, whether we would tie it to a USD amount, but they're definitely going to hold certain amount of tokens, right, for them to list.
Yeah, I like that. I'll sneak in my last question, then I'll let you, Adam, with any final questions. Data privacy, right? If I'm filling my Xanax at 10 different pharmacies all on the same day, like, are you going to rat me out to law enforcement? Like, what happens with data here?
Yeah, so Adam, so
Almost sounds like it's coming from experience, right? Almost.
I had to
yeah,
mute
well,
myself.
we are in here for the long term, right? So we would do the right thing, right? We'll do the right thing. So you have your prescription, but then it is not on us. We are trying to focus on the tech, right? On the the tech. So we don't want to do so much. We leave all of those for the pharmacist. So the pharmacist is the one that will request for your prescription. The pharmacist is the one that would say they won't dispense these medications to you, right? So all of those overhead, right, and all of those things that could create privacy regulatory issues, we put all of that on the head of the pharmacies, right? So that such that they are the ones who would do their diligence, right, for the dispense any kind of medications. But then from our own, we would not we will not we will not we would actually do the right thing. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And really, the real question there is just like people's search data, right? Is that private? Is that stored somewhere with you guys?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, got it. So for that, that's where the blockchain component comes in, right? So we're looking at finding a way to integrate some kind of private blockchain, right, so that um, it is secured, right, and not public, but then it is not would follow all of the whole data guidelines, but we are not going to, in terms of protection, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to disclose all of those data to anyone as much as we can. In fact, we're also trying to see how each individual could have ownership, right, of their data history and all of that, such that we may not access so much from our end, right? But that will take some kind of technicalities and take some time out for us to do that. But initially, we will try. We are looking at using decentralized private blockchains, right? That could provide protect those data.
So long-term goal is certainly privacy. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, it sounds like you would be well served with ZK proofs, and there's two things. There's the ZK Me project, which is a decentralized ID project that could potentially be a good partner. We're actually partnered with them. And there's also what Ringfence are doing with identity, and there's an identity cluster, I understand, that is being worked on, and that might be something where kind of joining the virtuals ecosystem creates more than the sum of its parts, right? And you find that kind of joining a cluster like that will be helpful to just kind of have them, or have other projects like take care of some of the heavy lifting around identity, and managing some of the ZK zero knowledge stuff, right? So something to think about.
Yeah, perfect. Because we really want to hit the ground running with our revenue and generating value for our token. So any kind of technical cost or overhead, right, that someone can take away from us. I mean, we are willing to partner and utilize those kind of platforms. Yeah.
So I think a lot of this stuff in virtuals, it's just about, I mean, for me, yeah, like ACP is there, and there's like all of these projects that have synergies, and I think we haven't seen that killer use case that has converted ACP into being, like billion-dollar volume, right? Which is what, and I don't know if we're going to get there first with ACP, or there's going to just be a collaboration between some virtuals agents that facilitates some level of really exciting scale. But I definitely think that, I mean, I've found since joining the ecosystem that there's so much depth actually of talent, and so much cool tech being built, and so many opportunities to partner. It's actually a bit overwhelming to know where to focus, because you're like, oh, there's ACP, and then there's opportunities in the base app, and then there's the bigger blockchain ecosystem as well, and other blockchains too, right? So
it's chaos, dude. It's good chaos, but it's chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of, you have to ruthlessly prioritize where to kind of plant your flags, and who to collaborate with. But it's definitely a good challenge to be stuck into. So yeah, all of the best with it, David. Anything you want to say to the guys out there before we've got 1 minute left, according to this? Are we just going to stay on? Shall I just open up the space and we stay on this stream? I mean, Hudah, you're not going to, you can't close this stream now, like, can you?
I'm definitely gonna give you that window to get to your space here. I don't think I'm gonna keep going beyond another few minutes here, but definitely like take us out, and I want to make sure you get to your space here in time.
Yes, I'll start setting that up actually.
And we won't shut this down to you're ready and live on your spaces over there. But guys, I mean, like, sounds super kosher. I really like it, David. I really like it. You sound like a great guy. I like that you're doxed on your LinkedIn profile. People can find you there. It's great to hear from other pharmacists out there, or at least people in that world who see the problem, see the need, and it sounds like something that you're pretty well equipped to tackle. So, dude, I like it a lot. Rooting for you.
Yeah, thanks, Hudah.
Hell yeah. So guys, this is coming up in what, 15 seconds. This is open. 24 hours you have to commit, right? Remember, we learned it's not first come, first serve. So you're gonna have that whole 24 hours to commit some points. Definitely tune into these guys' spaces too, right? Just hear this kind of continue over there. Hell, did I drop that? Yeah, I'll drop the link in the chat. So in the chat here for you guys, the party continues. But follow these guys. Follow Pharmachain AI over on X. Again, like him. Think he's building something really cool. So give him a follow. Of course, our bro Adam here, Adam_Song Jam, awesome dude. Again, hosting this space coming up here, and you'll see him around. You'll see him around here a lot. And then tomorrow, guys, I got to tell you, we locked in our guest. I'm super pumped for tomorrow. Tomorrow we got Don, the head of the Virtuals ACP, coming on the show. So speaking of that, right at the tail end of today, like, the ACP is like, look, if it's quiet, like, it's quiet. It's not going to be. It's not going to be forever. And I'm excited for what they've cooked already, but like to talk about vision of where it's going here. And I think it's going big places. So yeah, make sure you're tuning into the show tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time, all the usual places, but we'll be chatting with the virtuals team, first time getting them on the show. So it should be pretty damn spicy. You can follow me at Hudah_idiot. And finally, follow the Swarm_AI over on X as well. And then Friday, don't miss. We got our buddy Katz on the show too. So a lot coming up here. Man, David, you getting excited, nervous? You said it's your first token, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny? Dude, well, it's funny because I even ask it like that. It's your first token. Before it was like, don't launch a token. Don't ever launch a token, or you launch one and you're done. It's changing, dude. Everyone's gonna have multiple tokens at some point. Your first especially.
Yeah, because I think that people would find a way to create because token crypto, right, gonna be the payment layer for the internet, right? So if you're doing any kind of business, any kind of platform, right, that requires you to use the internet and connect with people far and wide, right, I think definitely most persons would have a token. So we are seeing it happen with top companies, and eventually we'll begin to see it happen, especially utility tokens, right? We're going to see that happen.
Dude, crypto's just going to eat everything. Everything. I believe it. Let's actually peek over on virtuals here. Did anybody else here? Did you notice your points changed, by the way, today? Anybody? Mine dipped by like 40,000 points, like literally evaporated. Live right now, by the way. The Pharmachain commit period's open. Good stuff, dude. I'm going to throw some points at this today for sure. But yeah, dudes, my points, I want to say like 40K points just completely went poof. I have no idea what happened. Although I'm thinking back a few days ago when I think we were live and I was looking at them and they had also like jumped like 30,000. So maybe that was it. The system correcting, the matrix making things right here. How's stuff looking? Let's go to Whale Intel. And Adam, you just give me a signal when you're ready. But in the meantime, let's peek.
So yeah, I've opened the space. I'm just playing some music. So yeah, people are coming in. But yeah, I'll dive off in a second. Well, we can close this up in a minute. I mean, we've got another minute or 2 minutes till.
Yeah, you boogie whenever. I'll shut it down when you're ready to jump over there. But then hell, in the meantime, let's just look at the market real quick. I just haven't looked at all at tokens today. Top gainers: DPIN, Doby, Whale Intel, hell yeah, Facey, and AIM. Interesting. We're seeing some of the smaller market cap tokens moving. Dude, Facey or Facey's at almost 15 mil FDV. That was a Genesis launch. I want to like prototypes like the thing right now, but if we're seeing a Genesis launch, although that was the old Genesis system, so worth pointing that out, but Genesis can still cook here for sure. Top losers, Finn, Aegon that just launched on prototype, 1.3 mil FDV. I wonder if people are a little wrong for being overly bullish on prototype. I'll say that. We'll see still, but Leo Bios and then WIM. Interesting seeing WIM down as well, and only at 370K, which prediction market meta coming. I don't know. Thought those boys would be cooking right now. We hop over on cookie.fun. Let's see. By the way, Lee, I see you out there, and Crypto Sage, good to see you. Alazar, good to see you. Alien, good morning, guys. Market's actually up 0.11%. I will take it. We'll take any green. Not complaining. And then our top agents here by market cap. Very curious about this. USDT, Fartcoin, Rect, Turbo, Toshi. Not bad. Gokumori, really, dude? I got a sense of that yesterday, by the way. Gokumori is saying not a fan of prototype. Let's see if my theory from yesterday works for Gen. Dude, Gokumori, I'm on your side with that. As in, like, I like both, but I do think Genesis is going to hit back, and I think Genesis will be as like fun, and I think we'll see some wins there like we did before.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm still like a Genesis fan, really. I mean, I think that there's also, I mean, there's a lot actually that Genesis teams can do to, and even V1 Genesis teams can do to, like, build up supply, right? So I think that it's really just, it's all about the flywheel, you know. And I definitely think that it doesn't, like, I'm less kind of concerned about these changes and more interested in like how we adapt, right? So, but yeah, I'm gonna dive over to the space now. So that's going on. I better
There we go.
I better do something.
Good chat with you boys. Yeah. Good luck over there. I'll be tuning in and listening, and you guys head over there too. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.
Amazing. Thanks for hosting us, man.
Hell yeah. Anytime, you know.
Yeah, thanks for hosting us. Yeah, bye.
Thank you, David. We'll see you guys. Good luck.